Hey guys, just want to quickly check in before we start the episode. Our 100th episode, part 2. We're having a party this weekend, October 2nd. So if you're interested in coming, make sure you DM either Owen or I. Link in the description to find our Instagrams. Mine is Elevated Alexander and Owen's is Owen Osinde. So DM us if you're interested in coming. It's going to be a vibe. We have a lot of things planned for this party, so we want to see you guys and just connect and check in and see what's going on with everybody's businesses. This is a perfect time to network and engage with one another. So come through, slide through. Looking forward to seeing you. Also, if you're looking to advertise on Facebook, make sure you hit up Elevated Alexander, send him a DM, and get started. All right, guys, let's hop into the episode.
And how everyone, when you look at someone else's success, you're like, I want to do it like the way they did it. But you can't recreate the same path that they took to get to where. Like, you just got to follow your own inner voice. So your own inner voice, Viv, was, I'm just going to solve my problem on this hair. And you built that business. You kept going and going and going no matter what. Your personality was a part of that. It led you to other things. You listened to that inner voice and you followed it. Now, like, you're Vivian Kaye. But to say how you were going to be Vivian Kaye, you could not define the means of how you were going to be Vivian Kaye. It just happened by just your own intuitive path. And that's where you're at right now.
Woo! You said a word. Wow. That's a word. And that's it.
Let's take notes. Man, today we met somebody who actually listened to our podcast episode.
And they took notes. I was really impressed.
Yo, I was shocked.
Back when I was like doing the podcast alone, I had a good friend of mine, John Lucas Enns. We worked together at Good Life Fitness. And today we had a call because he's starting a podcast and he wants to return the favor for Alex and I to be the first guests on his podcast. And as we're talking to him and his partner was very, very impressed with the work we've done, where we actually did a recording talking about how to start a podcast. And he listened to the episode from start to finish. He took detailed notes of everything we said. And, you know, the crazy thing is when we put out these episodes, we never hear a lot of feedback. We never get to hear from people. And just to see him actually treat that audio recording as a playbook was so flattering. And I was very honored that he actually took the time to hear us out. Yeah, so thank you, DJ. Thank you, Lucas, for having us on your podcast. Yeah, how did you feel when you saw that, bro?
Man, it felt great. It felt like all that work we've done over the years, not over the years, but over that time period for the episode actually had come to fruition. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the goal. If you can help one person get to that next step, then it'll all be worth it personally. So I'm happy that we could share our light, share our experience with somebody else to help me get to that next step. So no, it made it worth it. You know, it's good to see in person that someone's actually taken the steps we've given them and applied it to get to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's why we do this.
Yeah, that's why we do this.
That's why we do this, bro. Yo, cheers to that, bro. Cheers to this is why we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. It's Sunday night and I feel alright. The party is here.
Oh my, bro! Do I bring it? I just on the party. Right?
Dog, they don't know my unit number. Out. They don't know my unit number.
Nah, I'm blurring that out.
Okay. Party's here on the west side. So Al, who do we have, bro?
Yes, moving right along. Paul C. Brunson. Yo, Paul was one of our biggest guests. Not just in terms of popularity, but in terms of story as well, man.
Depth.
That was probably one of our top 5 podcasts.
Yeah.
Top 5 in the day 5. You know
man, I remember my cousin Mark just telling me, bro, like when I was done that episode, I was cheesed. I'm like, why? He's like, man, I just wanted to keep on going. Because, you know, he's moving around his crib, is playing in his Echo in the bathroom, and he's just enjoying the whole flow of the conversation. Mm-hmm. We did an amazing job with that. Great editing. And shout out to Paul, man. Shout out to Paul for taking time for his busy schedule again, for chatting us up. Great guy. Great lad.
Word. Let's jump in. Showcasing an intimate side of you, you know, and honestly, I commend you on it because honestly, I don't know if I could do that. I'm very personal when it comes to sharing that side of me, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you balance having that cutoff point where you think you're not going to show that anymore? Or, you know, like, where do you find that cutoff point for yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question, because if somebody wanted to be a real stalker, what they would do is they could look back, because I was on IG like day one, right? So you could go back and see that I used to just post memes. I never would post like a photo of my face. It would always just be a meme, right? Then I started posting what I saw, right? Then it evolved into posting me in the environment. Then it involved posting my children and me in the environment. Then it involved posting my wife, my children, and me in the environment. And here's the reason why we have done it, but there also is a line. But the reason why we do it is because, man, we're really trying to be inspired. Because I can't tell you how many folks will reach out and say, Paul, like, because like I never thought I could live outside the country, but man, you're doing it. I guess I can. Or like, I never thought to go to Ireland for vacation. Yeah. Like, why Ireland? But you're out there. Your kids are loving it. Like, so it's really about inspiration. That's really the key. It's about inspiration. But there is a line. The line is whenever my wife tells me to stop, I just drop the camera, man. I'm not even messing around with it. But yeah, for the most part, we're pretty intimate with what we do.
Speaking about intimacy, Paul, right? One thing that I've been following you since we last spoke was you've been very open about your marriage and, what really makes a successful, happy relationship. So for the people who are listening, and we've been going through like a time with a lot of uncertainty, what are some things that have helped you make your relationship stronger with your wife and also bringing your children in the mix, moving to like a whole new country?
Yeah. The key is, and this seems so cliche, but it's so important, is you have to love self. Like, ego is awareness of self, but then you have to love yourself. But how you get to that point is you have to know what you value, and then you have to feed those values. So a lot of people have not just done the basics, like, what is it that I value? Like, so for me, I've done that work. I value family, value creativity, I value ambition, I value culture. So what I try to do is make sure that every part of my day has some aspect of that. Like I'm feeding those values every day. And if you feed those values, so think about it, like I value family, right? So if I am with my family and I are doing things, etc. every day, am I better a week from now? Definitely. Are my relationships with my family better? Definitely. Are my relationships with my friends better? Definitely, right? So think if you could identify all your values, feed all your values, right? You're gonna be happy, man. You're gonna be very happy. Very, very happy.
No, that's so true.
So true, man.
And when it comes to like that happiness, how has that been affecting that your kids are starting to go to school? Because that was such an intimate moment that you shared on that really like hit me. It's like, man, that's really special. How has life changed for you?
Oh man, I mean, so this is day 4. So
it's still new.
But it's still brand new, and this was big because we've been homeschooling them for years. Almost 4 years. And so for my youngest, who's 7. He's never really seen the inside of a real school. He's going to like the nursery stuff, but not a real school. So to send them off, to Black children from America, from Washington, D.C., right, is where they're born, and then send them to a school in London, private school in London, where everything is different. Culture, right? The words that they use. My son came home yesterday. He was like, they don't say eraser. They say rubbers. I was like, rubbers, really? Okay, rubber. They say rubber, yeah. And so everything is completely new. But here's the beauty of that, and here's what I'm learning through them, is that a lot of us think that new and different is scary. Like we see new and different and we start to back away. Instead, they see new and different and they lean in. They become curious about it. And that is beautiful to see. It's really beautiful. And it inspires me to live that way. When I see something different or new, lean in, right? Not away.
Yeah, man.
No, that's huge.
I've been seeing that with your kids. You've been sharing a lot about them, like their resiliency, their mentality, even traveling to America and, being told that COVID, wearing masks, and then like you realize their attitude towards it was totally different than what you had expected. And that's just due to good parenting between you and your wife. And shout out to your wife as well, to the grind that you do, everything that you do. Like, she deserves a lot of credit for, holding it down at home when you're busy working,
I mean, definitely. And also like working, I think the superpower that I quote unquote have is the fact that my wife works on all business aspects with me. So like literally this morning, I've been doing a lot of influencer work. By the way, man, the influencer money is good money. Let me just say that right now. Influencer money is good money.
The Brinks truck is backing up.
Oh my goodness, man! This morning, I mean, well, I won't go. Well, I mean, if you want to go into it, we can go into it. But I had to do something, so I had to like prep a script. She was with me, helping me prep the script. She runs and walks the boys to school. I run off to film, right, for the influencer stuff. I come back. She ran and go grab the coffee. She's working on this FedEx stuff. Where she's doing invoices. It's one of these where we work together as a unit. I'm more of the front facing. Right, everybody kind of sees me, but no, she is holding it down. She's holding it down.
Most definitely. So actually, you brought it up perfectly. Let's talk about this influencer work and how it pays well. Did you go through an agency to get this deal, or did you go directly to the brand? I hear a lot about the different nuances when it comes to having a strong influencer deal. Could you walk us through some of the details? Of course, I know you don't want to get too deep, but whatever you can share, let's get into it.
Yeah, no. Any question you have on the influencer stuff, I'm open book on it. Awesome. So I never looked at myself as an influencer, and it was maybe 3-4 years ago. Someone had come to me and they offered they were like, hey, $500 if you post this, and I thought to myself, no, I don't want to get into that kind of transactional stuff. But I started to realize that if I could actually partner with a brand, so on a campaign, and that campaign underscored my values, and it wasn't just about me posting, but it was about us collaboratively doing something so that we're creating content together, they're distributing, right? There's multiple wins, then that would be something I would be interested in. So then about a year later, or maybe a year or 2 years later, this is about 2 years ago, the biggest deal, or I had a big deal, and it was with Audi. And Audi came through and they were like, hey, look, here's what we want to do. We're going to pay you, what was it? We're going to pay you 30,000 pounds. We're going to give you a car, a new X5, like no one has this car. I'm sorry, X5 is a BMW. That was the last deal I did, but this was with the Audi. But we're going to give you this car for a year, right? We're also going to donate books to schools because, Paul, we know you like to donate books to schools. And because I do a lot of work with the homeless, they also bought up all these supplies for me to give away to folks that are, at least in the UK, we call it sleeping rough. So I was like, hold on for a second. So you're going to fund all the stuff that I normally do. You're going to give me a car, which I don't have for a year. And you're going to give me $30K. Yes, I will do that.
Easy.
You know what I mean? I will take
decision.
that deal any day. That's easy. And the moment that they did that, it was an agency that represented Audi who came to me. And that was when the light bulb moment went off. So then what I did is because I'm very entrepreneurial, put together my own team, put together my own deck, and then started to put together companies that I have a particular interest in, and then started pitching those companies. So over the last 2-3 years, I probably do about maybe 100 to 150K in influencer work a year, which is light work. I'm honestly thinking about moving that number to 250 to 500 because the demand is is incredible right now on the part of brands, and they're now more accessible. You don't have to go through agencies if you don't want to. You could come up with your own campaigns. You know what I mean? It's not just about posting. It could be a combination. Like today I've been doing TV, radio interviews. I did some social media stuff as well. You know, so it's a whole combination. It's incredible because it's high margin, it's high impact, and it really shows you there are no gatekeepers anymore. They're not.
Have you been approached for a deal that the money was really good, but it did not fit within your core values, and how did you respond to that?
Wait, all the time. Like right now, you know, I'd say 2 to 3 deals come through each week. A matter of fact, in 15 minutes, I'm talking to someone else about one. But what I do is when they come in, I just look at them and I identify, is this something that I value? Is this something that is beyond just a post? Is it an all-inclusive, you know, type of deal? And if it is, I'm in. But most I say no to, and I think that's the key. The key is that you don't want to. At least I shouldn't say this, but it depends on. Actually, I shouldn't say this. It depends on where you want to take your brand, because I do know I have a lot of friends here in the UK who they may do an ad every 2 or 3 days, and they make between £1 million and £3 million per year just on influencer work. Wow. Like 1 to 3 million per year on influencer work. So I'm not going to knock that hustle. You know, that's what they do. That's not the route I'm trying to take. But yeah, it could be super lucrative. If you say no, if you say yes to everything, it could be super lucrative.
Most definitely. And what's been taking up the most time with you in regards to business since we've last spoke? I know Married at First Sight UK has been a big part of the, you know, a lexicon for Paul C. Brunson. But yeah, I would love to get your opinion. What have you been working on, and what do you have coming up next?
Yeah, man, you so TV, since we last talked, the biggest epiphany I've had is that I spent 10 years doing television work, and it was always a part-time. I looked at it like a side hustle, and I looked at my other endeavors, whether it was investing, starting up a new startup idea, etc. I looked at that as my full-time. The biggest epiphany I've had since we last talked was I've now changed those two. I look at television now as a full-time gig. And you know what the biggest lesson for me has been? It is amazing when you set your intention, how successful you could become. Wow. I look back, and this is real talk. You know why I always called TV a part-time? Because I was scared. I didn't believe that I could actually be a full-time. So that was me basically hedging. I was like, you know, I'm not good enough to be full-time, so I'll just say this is my part-time, right? I'll just say I do this other stuff, which I did do the other stuff, but I don't, but you know, TV is so hard, you know, I can't say I'm full-time, right? But no, I made the intention. I sat down with my wife, I was like, yo, we've been doing this for 10 years, and I have been half-assing it, you know what I mean? What would happen if I really got serious about this thing? And do you know that since then, I now co-host not one, but 2 of the most popular TV shows here in the UK, that the Married at First Sight is literally been one of the most successful, not one, it's the most successful franchise on this network. I have multiple like TV deals that come in that my manager looks at. It's one of these where when you set your intention, right, it's amazing what could happen. So that's been the biggest. But I'm still doing all of my part-time stuff too. Like I still have the Better with Paul Connect community. You know, I'm still out here consulting. I'm still writing. You know, I am doing influencer work. You know, so I'm not stopping. But TV now has become full-time.
You know, it's interesting you say intention, right? Because I think when a lot of people think about Paul C. Brunson, like the way you approach your life and the way you live, they will think like you're already an intentional person with everything you do. So it's so refreshing to hear that I was not being intentional with one of the things that I do so great at. And you've worked with one of like the greatest, well, most prolific TV hosts ever in Oprah, and yet you still did not feel like you're being intentional. So that's refreshing to hear, especially coming from you.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. I always felt like I was, just faking it, right? And that was in my mind too. Like when I showed up, I would show up like, okay, they're the real talent. I'm just kind of here, right? But now when I show up, I'm like, yo, I'm here.
Like, give me the ball and
like,
move.
The real talent is here. Man, give me the ball. Like, I see Jordan in the back. I'm like, give me the rock. Like, that's what I do. So, yeah, that is what has changed. That is what has changed.
Awesome. As we work towards wrapping up, what tips can we leave the entrepreneurs who are in their silos and working away, trying to get to the next stage of their life?
Man, I tell you, this is going to sound crazy coming from me because I'm always, you were just saying it, Owen, like I try to be meticulous about stuff. So I'm researched, try to be well-read, try to interview the right people to make sure that they give me the insight. Man, there's no rules to this. I'm here to tell you there are no rules to this game that we call the hustle. There are no rules. You get it any way it comes. Make your own path. If it's not popping for you in Washington, D.C., move to London. You know what I mean? There's no rules to this thing. And I think a lot of us get weighted down by, okay, I got to do this first, then I got to do this, or, oh, this is not the correct way, or no. There are no rules, right? There are no rules. And that has really been eye-opening and an epiphany for me.
Nah, that's huge. I felt that. All right, so last question as we work towards wrapping up. You posted on LinkedIn, is Kanye West a genius?
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on that. Donna just dropped. Is Kanye a genius? In your opinion?
All right. I'm probably going to get in trouble with you young folks right here because Kanye dropped, Drake dropped, and I saw so many people talk about how Drake's album was superior, and I don't think we can assess art, right? Like we're not, I always say like, who are we to assess like, the artist's work? But for me personally, there's no question. Donda is one of the most exceptional albums I've ever witnessed in my life. As a matter of fact, I play the full album at least 3 times a day. Now, to your question of is Kanye a genius? There's no doubt about it. And when I saw how 47% of people on LinkedIn were like, no, he's not, I was like, no. It's because you're either a hater or you just don't know his resume. Like anybody that knows this man's resume knows he's a genius. Like he's a genius. There's no, like, let me ask you, Alex, Owen, is he a genius?
100%.
You know what I realized as I was thinking about this?
I was gonna say.
No. The answer is yes for me. The answer is 100% yes.
Okay.
I realized something and I was like, holy smokes. I have never seen a Yeezy ad.
Never.
And who's the only other brand that you've never seen ads for? Tesla. Now, would you say that Elon Musk is a genius? Yes, you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. There's no question.
There's no question.
There's no question. Like anybody who knows, it's like, don't even ask me that question.
It's a given, man. It's a given.
It's not a question.
It's a given.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But most of the world doesn't think that.
I was also going to say, man, like, as a huge Drake fan, I was actually so disappointed in this, like, album. I found, like, Donda was just artistry. Like, Drake is a superstar, right? He's a superstar. He's a pop star. Like, he is what LeBron is like to music, right? Like, he's going to, like, get people talking. He's going to get people going. But Kanye is that person who's just, like, it's art. It's legit. Think about it. Every Kanye album sounds different, from like 808s to Waves to the Ye to College Dropout. It's a different sound. Like Yeezus, he takes it a different level. Drake, for example, I was listening to like Pipe Down, right? I was like, man, this could have been on like Take Care. Like there's nothing that sounds different from, and I love Drake. I love all the Drake records, but I just wish Drake evolved. I think he's just stagnant. I don't know if he lacks inspiration, but Donda was just so refreshing to hear. And, you know, it's complete. It's night and day between CLB and Donda to me.
I tell you, I could do we could talk 2 hours.
We can chop it up.
On this if you really wanted to. But let me just say, I endorse everything you just said. Donda's artistry, it's emotional. And also, too, is like, so I'll end on this. Because I know Alex is like, hold on, Paul, we got time. Like, we got time. My boys are 7 and 10 years old, okay? I could play Donda, and they don't yet, like, they're not yet on the music scene, right? So they just know about sounds and emotion, right, when they hear music. I play almost any Drake now, and they will not react. I will play anything off of Donda. Actually, I even play like Sunday Service, like anything, and they will react to it. Like they will react to it. They react off of the emotion. I mean, Donda was incredible.
Yeah, nah. Honestly, my biggest disappointment was Way Too Sexy. The song, I mean, the video helped a lot because I'm like, oh yeah, they're not taking it that serious. Okay, cool. Like, I know that it's a joke on their end as well, so that kind of helped a lot. But that one was like, this is the single.
This is the banger of the whole album, man.
Yeah, and also the fact that 7 a.m. in Bridal Path was a response to Kanye, which Kanye dropped the photo like 2 days before, right? So that means that song was created that night. So if it wasn't for Kanye, that song probably wouldn't have been that song. So
exactly. He was the inspiration for it. You know what I mean? Like, give him a credit on the album. Give him a credit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, most definitely. But Paul, I want to make sure I'm respecting your time. You know, I really appreciate you coming back on the podcast. It's been a pleasure as always. You're one of the top listened to episodes, and your story, people would come up to us in parties being like, yo, that Paul episode, man. You know what I'm saying?
There's my cousin, right? He used to live in the same building as me. He was just like, man, that Paul C. Brunson episode, I wish it was longer, because I was like, whoa, that's it? Like, I want to hear more, right? So you were a fan favorite. Wow. Like that was like a killer episode, Paul.
That's appreciated. I'm gonna tell you what, both you brothers I love, man. I support you guys. When we connected on that, I've been watching the movement. I respect it. I like the hustle. If there's ever anything I could do, let me know. Next time you're in London, we'll get some chicken together.
Exactly.
Because they do chicken, they do it right. They do that, it's Caribbean. I just moved to South London. A lot of Caribbeans out here in South London, so it's good.
I love that. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the hustle is what you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen.
And that's Hustle Over Everything, y'all.
Peace out.
Man, that episode was dope. Him showing how much he actually made from an influencer post was very transparent for him, and I really appreciate that. Most people would be like, yeah, I know, I can't get into specifics.
Can't get into it, specifics, whatever. And he actually shared that he doesn't take deals that don't fit in within his value system. Yeah. A lot of people can take a quick check, but he actually just decided to, hey, this doesn't fit in, so I'm not going to take this deal.
Facts. Most definitely. Yo, have you heard of these crypto scams, bro?
No, I haven't. What is it?
Basically, crypto is basically unregulated, right? So if you can pump and dump a stock super easily. So right now on TikTok, people are just messaging people and messaging influencers to say, hey, promote my stock, I'll pay you. And then they pump up that crypto and dump it, and it's a horrible phenomenon. Yo, on TikTok, if you're listening, please do not listen to a lot of these crypto investors. All these people are trying to scam you. Scam them there. Scam them there.
Trying to scam you. And if you're looking for reputable people to listen to, Pomp, Pomp is a big one in the market.
Yep.
Bitcoin.
Pompliano.
He's really becoming huge. A big guy within the crypto space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still believe in Doge.
Why? Doge has no utility.
It's still Doge.
All right, so here's the
Look,
thing, though.
Mark
What
Cuban-
do you believe in long term? Break that down.
I believe in Bitcoin.
Okay.
But I believe in the versatility of what Doge can do with it becoming an actual form of currency.
For what utility?
The same way Bitcoin, you can purchase things with Bitcoin, you'll be able to purchase with Dogecoin.
Bitcoin has become gold, right? But Doge is just literally becoming a meme stock. Like Ethereum, people are trading that for NFTs for a whole bunch of different reasons, right?
Yeah.
And Solana, people are using that for video games and trading, stuff like that, right? So what is your breakdown for Doge? Because right now it's just a meme coin. Are you saying this because of the value people are putting on it? Like, where do you get the incentive or thinking for that?
I don't have the data to back up my facts, my statements.
So this is what you just believe.
This is what I believe. This is I like, you know, like remember when AMC was going on and you had like Roaring Kitty? Mm-hmm. He's like, why did you invest
AMC,
it? GameStop. Why did you why did you invest it? He's just like, because I like the stock. I just like the coin, bro. I like the coin.
Are you trolling me?
Bro, I'm not trolling you. I'm serious. I'm not trolling. I'm serious.
So you're in Dogecoin. You put money down.
I did. I put up money that I can afford to lose, which was at that time $200. I was like, you know, put it in. Mm-hmm. It's growing. Mm-hmm. I made $60 from it, but I lost it when it went down. But now it's coming back up. So you just gotta believe in the coin, bro. These coins didn't even have a use case until there was a use case for it, right? So you just gotta give it some time. Dogecoin just started like this year. Well, it started years ago.
I want to know what these people think, man.
Okay, what do they think?
Do you guys think that Doge will have any utility?
Mark Cuban is already accepting it in the arena as a form of currency.
I feel like Mark Cuban is advertising.
For what?
For his arena. He's like, yeah. So here's the thing. When Bitcoin was first booming, very first booming, like in 2000, like in
12, 13.
Yeah. When people said that they accepted Bitcoin, their marketing would skyrocket. So I never forget this because I was thinking of doing that for some of my clients. I'm just saying, hey, we'll accept Bitcoin. Then some people would be like, oh, they accept Bitcoin. And it kind of spreads the word of what companies decide to accept Bitcoin. So now people are looking up that company.
I didn't know that. You know, Mark Cuban is
a smart guy.
He's a smart guy. He's a hustler. He's a guy who, you know, he's not afraid of new ideas. Mm-hmm. I got to rate him for that. Mm-hmm. So with Elon Musk promoting Doge, you know, this is actually intensifying my belief for the coin. So we'll see what happens with it. But I'm a big Doge backer. I still back Bitcoin the most because it has the most sense. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited for Doge.
Are you in Ethereum?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ethereum is my baby. That's like 60% of my allocation right now.
Yeah, bro. You know? It's coming back up. The market is coming back up. Everything is rising.
Word.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with these coins in like 2 years.
Most definitely. So you know who I want to see in 2 years?
Who?
Vivian Kaye.
Where do you want to see her on?
I think Vivian Kaye in 2 years is going to be on a international stage where both Canada and America knows about Viv. And she has like 200K.
200K what?
200K followers on Instagram, you know, syndication somehow.
Like I feel verified, like Viv is gonna be, everything.
For sure.
Have her own show.
Very magnetic. Well, she's going to get her own show after this Intuit podcast. Shout out to Viv. Y'all, if you don't know, Viv is about to drop a podcast with Intuit. I think next month in October. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Viv and best of luck with her new podcast. I think that's going to be one of the best things going for Viv. So let's get into that Vivian Kaye episode. So, man, I was on TikTok today, bro, and I heard an interesting story, man, about how this one girl was in a group project. Like she was in a doctorate group project. And she already had doctorate group project, yeah. And she had already taken time and was like working in the field already, right? Mm-hmm. And she basically is like killing the class, but keeping it low key. She's one of the only black women in the class.
Black excellence,
you feel me? And the rest of the class is white, Asian, and brown, right? So she's in this class, killing it, and Shorty had experience, so she's like coming from experience, and she has this group project now with 2 white guys and this Asian girl. So they started doing this group project, and the thing that they're working on, she has experience in. So this Asian girl says, "Yo, let's start doing this like form of the project, right?" And the black girl now has experience, and she's like, "Yo, I have experience in this. This is something we need to do. We need to do 1, 2, and 3, right?" And the Asian girl's like, "Oh, but 3 doesn't sounds a bit extra. You don't have to do 3." But she's like, "Hey, listen, I have experience here. We need to do 1, 2, and 3." And the Asian girl wouldn't listen to her, right? So you know how mid-group project you check in with your teacher to see how things is going, right? So she asked the teacher now, "Hey, so we were thinking about doing 1, 2, and 3. 3 being, of course, being what the black girl suggested, and the professor's now like, yes, you're supposed to do 1, 2, and 3. You're wrong." And then she's like, "Oh, okay, cool," and gets 1, 2, and 3 going, right? But take this in now. After that, the Asian lady leaves the group and says, "Yo, I'm not really feeling the group. I'm going to get out here," and goes and joins another group with a brown man. And now the black girl is trying to find another group project, and she's struggling now because it's midway through. You know how group projects go. Midway through, everybody got their group already. So now she's struggling to find her group. And it's just like a testament to, even at that level, you know, you still got to like prove yourself more than regular.
Man, this is one thing about group projects in uni that I just did not really grasp. I get the camaraderie about it. Like, you're supposed to work together. You're supposed to do something as a team because life consists of teamwork. But, yo, you're paying tuition and your grades depend on other people who might not be competent enough to really pull it off. So I used to like, and the thing is, they choose the groups for you, so it's on random. So you don't even know. They should be able to say, these are people's grades. People who have top grades work together. So at least you know you're working with people who actually are serious about academics. Man,
I don't know. Well, then you're gonna group people who have the shitty grades together and be like, "Oh, yo, you have a C, so all y'all are in the C group now," you know.
But why are you putting me with the as an A student? Why are you bringing me with the C students? Like, who are gonna bring me down?
Because that's like, reality. A students got to play with C students in the workplace.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Viv, what do you think about that?
It's true. It's unfortunate, but it's true. You get into these corporate spaces. You know, as we know, the mediocrity is celebrated.
Most definitely.
Right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. You don't get a whole team of A players all the time. You get lucky, but that's not the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there, guys. You know, today we got Vivian Kaye on the show. Viv, what's good? How you doing?
I'm good, busy, but you know, it's good. Blessed, you know? How are you guys doing?
Man, we are blessed and humble.
Amen.
Highly favored.
Yes.
Yep.
Most definitely. You know, so, you know, thank you for stopping by to celebrate the 100th episode with us. So we want to know, what are some of the things that you've been working on over the last year since we last chatted?
Bro. I've gone up a couple of levels.
It's a big question, right?
I've gone up a couple of levels.
So much.
Let's see. So, actually, we're dropping I'm the host of a new podcast called Business Class, Build It Braver, brought to you by American Express Canada. Yeah.
Congratulations, Viv.
So there's that. Also, I think I was doing this before, but I'm the entrepreneur expert on Cityline, which is Canada's longest running morning show with Tracy Moore. And they gave me a YouTube show. So that's dropping in October as well. So, you know, October is about to be on and popping. Like, it's
about to be Locktober.
Yeah.
You have to have that on lock.
Locktober. And it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It's such a, you know, it's such an amazing thing. But, you know, that's okay, because I worked for it. So it's coming. It's here. So it's just a matter of just taking the rocket and running with it.
Yeah, we've been saying that, you know, we see you have such a magnetic personality first and foremost. And we see you becoming like more than just a businesswoman. We see you becoming like very worldly, like anything you can touch, you can make it work. Talk show host, podcast, public speaking. The personality just fits in with anything. We say, hey, I would not be surprised if Viv becomes like a very Oprah-like personality figure, like, you know, business and anything.
It's here.
Yeah. Well, is that what you saw for yourself? Like coming into business? Was that your end goal? Was it just, let me build a business and then these things were just a byproduct
these things,
of that?
So even with business, I didn't start out to create a $6 million business. I just set out to solve my problem, and then to give other Black women the confidence to show up as we are in the world. And it just sort of spiraled. And that's with everything. Because for me, I always start out with, you know, this one intention, which is to solve my problem. And then everything always just sort of snowballs from there. And you just run with it. You just run after the snowball, or you jump on the snowball, and you just go with it. And sometimes you got to pivot. So like over these past 18 months for me with Kinky Curly Yaki, I had huge issues with supply chain, right? So I sell human hair extensions. So the hair came from India, goes over to China, and then I import it into Canada. We got hit with coronavirus back in November of 2019, except we didn't know what it was. It was just delays, right? And it wasn't until, as we all know, March of 2020, then the whole world knew about it, right? We heard rumblings of it in December. It's like, oh, you know, something that'll just blow over. It's on the other side of the world. But it turns out it took over the world, right? So during that time, I had to pivot. And I pivoted into helping people. And so then what that did was it took my learning, all my skills that I'd learned over the past 16 years as an entrepreneur, and put it together with my love of impact, right? And sharing with people. And then my personality, you know, put in a little bit of razzle dazzle. Then you got Vivian just doing these things, right? Like, and I did it. And I didn't do it with the intention of becoming this person. But I think I knew, like, I don't even know how to explain. You know how you don't even know how to explain it? Because when I look back,
it's like when I look back,
I'm like, oh, this all makes sense. Like, it all makes sense. Yeah. Like, it all led me to here. And it started in high school when people were like, I used to do radio, the announcements on the radio, on the announcements, right? Mm-hmm. And people would say, you need to do radio, or you need to be an actress, or you need to, and I was just like, nothing, it didn't really fit me. Like, I didn't like it. And so here we come, 25 years later, the internet gets invented. I become an entrepreneur, and I never really knew what I wanted to do. I was just really good at just making stuff up as I was going along, which is entrepreneurship, right? And then taking all that I've learned and showing other people how to do it, and then being able to do it all from my phone. So I didn't have to become the actress. Like, I didn't take the traditional route. I just did it the way I wanted to do it, and I used digital to help me do it. And here we are. So it's like, yeah. So I always say I'm a mix of like Gary V. I'm a remix of Oprah and Gary V. Right, with a dash of razzle dazzle. So did I think I was going to be here? Nah, but I knew what I was born to be, which was fan-freaking-tastic. And how it actually, the how I wasn't concerned with, it was my why. My why is because I want to impress upon people that you don't need to be the skinny blonde white chick or the skinny white or the white man or whatever it is, like whatever society shows us that we have to be. No, girl, I'm the exact opposite of that. You can be whatever you want. So like I said, I'm not a role model. I'm a possibility model. I'm just showing you what's possible.
Yeah, I think you're just following intuition, right? And there's something called the bridge of incidents, right? When you have like the end in mind of like a certain vision of what it is, like it can be like a big vision that you have, but there's so many things within that vision. You go through like the bridge of incidents, which take you through your own unique path. Like no other woman similar like you, Viv, can go through that similar path. They'll go through their own path to make their own like reality come true.
That's so interesting. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, what is that?
Tell
us more.
Yeah.
I never heard about that.
So the bridge of incidents comes from reading like a book called The Kabbalion and an author named Neville Goddard. So Neville actually was like one of the authors before like the Napoleon Hills of Think and Grow Rich, and he always talks about like the magic path of intuition. and how everyone, when you look at someone else's success, you're like, I want to do it like the way they did it. But you can't recreate the same path that they took to get to where. Like, you just got to follow your own inner voice. So your own inner voice, Viv, was, I'm just going to solve my problem on this hair. And you built that business. You kept going and going and going no matter what. Your personality was a part of that. It led you to other things. You listened to that inner voice and you followed it. Now, like, you're Vivian Kaye. But to say how you were going to be Vivian Kaye, you could not define the means of how you were going to be Vivian Kaye. It just happened by just your own intuitive path, and that's where you're at right now.
Woo! You said a word.
Wow.
That's a word, and that's that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Permission. I'm gonna borrow that. Thank you.
Bridge of incidents.
No, that was real.
Wow.
That's gonna be the clip, by the way. It's a heads up. That's the clip. All right. So now, one thing I want to ask you as well is, you were balancing a lot. You're doing Kinky Curly Yaki. You're, on City Line, and you're doing a podcast, and you're a mother. Walk us through the way you balance that, if there is
There's
a balance.
no such thing as balance. It's just really about juggling the balls. And by balls, I mean, glass and plastic balls, right? So this author, I can't remember her name for the life of me right now, but she once said it's really a matter of figuring out which balls are glass and which are plastic. So you may think, and I'm going to say this from a mother point of view, but crazy sock day at school might be like, you have to judge, is that glass or is that plastic? My kid, that would be plastic, right? But then I don't know, orange shirt day might be glass for him, right? So I wouldn't think, you don't think of your job or your business or your kids or your family or your partner as balls. You think of individual things as balls. So like I said, crazy sock day may be a plastic ball for my son, but orange shirt day is a glass ball. So I have to make sure I don't drop those glass balls, but the plastic ones, they bounce. Right? So it's not really about balancing. It's about prioritizing and making sure that I don't drop those glass balls.
That's a gem. Nah, that's really real.
Yeah.
Because that glass ball, could you be showing up to that soccer game,
Right.
and the kid looking over to the
Right.
side like, where's mom?
Right.
And,
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
Right.
so real. That's so real.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. So now let's get back into business, because we're a business show. So walk us through the Amex podcast situation. How'd that come about? Did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? Because a lot of us content creators, we want things like this where we can create a series with a brand. Walk us through that, and what did you learn through that process?
And also, on top of Amex, also Ownr.
yeah, that
we
too.
also saw you're working with Ownr as well. So add on top of that too.
So you know what? It's really, for everything, is that you need to create, and you don't need to, you just know that someone's always watching. You never know who's watching. That's the thing. So even with Cityline, it was like, I've created my own IGTV series called Mind Your Business. And every single week I drop, first actually it started out as an IG live. And I did that every week consistently for about 8 months, and then switched it over to IG live. And I did that for a good year. And of course, I did about 42 episodes. And of course, I did them all on IG, and then I uploaded them up onto YouTube, and people saw that, right? So I didn't care who was watching. I was just creating because I needed an outlet for all, and I needed to show my expertise. I needed an outlet for my creativity, and I needed to show my expertise. So I would just do them, just create them. So there's that. And then there's, like, even when I look at, even for Amex, let me tell you how, I'm pretty sure this is exactly what happened. The podcast studio, so first of all, every single thing that you've seen me do outside of Ownr, they've reached out to me. So it's all inbound. With Ownr, what happened was I was on Reddit. I'm on Reddit doing my Reddit thing, and I saw an ad. I got served an ad, and I was like, there's no way this is Canadian. Like, so you can register your business. And incorporate your business with Ownr. Use my code. Just if you go to the link in my bio, there's a code. You can click on that. All right. Anyways, and I reached out to them. I said, hey, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. Hey, if you ever need anyone that's, in the entrepreneur space that can speak to this, I went through your whole process and I liked it. And I'm sharing this with my coaching clients. And so then they were like, yeah, hey, you know what? We're having an event. Would you like to speak at it? I'm like, yeah, sure. Dope. It was unpaid. Right. So I was willing to do an unpaid thing, but I'm always willing. Like, there's always opportunity for me. It's always about the opportunity, the network, and the people. Right. Because sometimes it's not about money. Even my business was never about money. It's about opportunity. Had I not woken up one day and decided I'm just going to start Kinky Curly Yaki, I would not be where I am today. I took a risk and, you know, ate shit for a few years, and then boom, business took off. Well, it took off immediately, but you know what I mean, right? But
of course.
But that's what happened with Ownr, and then it just sort of snowballed from there, right? And then with Amex, there's a woman who follows me. She told her boyfriend, actually, she was a woman who followed me. She bought a What Would Chad Do t-shirt. She wears it. Her boyfriend says, what is this? She explains to him, oh, you got to go see this woman, blah, blah. He comes to my Instagram. He watches my videos. He says, I like you. Come on my podcast. I go on his podcast. I do that podcast. Then I got exposure to the West Coast of Canada. So he was out in Vancouver. Then I got shortlisted from a list of people for Amex, and I was number one. Like, there was a bunch of other people, and I was number one. I was their number one choice. And then they reached out to me and said, hey, we've got this thing. And I was like, who, me? And every single time I'm like, who, me? Portia, same thing. I was on the radio at CBC, on CBC radio at 6:30 in the morning. The guy from the agency heard me, liked me, put me on a short list. Then I got shortlisted again. And then they reached out and said, they slid into my DMs and said, this is the opportunity we have. Are you down? And I said, who, me? And again, people are always watching. So create that content and be yourself. And that's the thing with Portia. They were like, I was like, are you sure? Because Portia is usually geared towards 40-year-old white men. As you know, I'm the exact opposite of that. And they're like, that's exactly what we want.
Yep.
Bridge of incidences.
Yeah.
Bridge of incidences.
Yep.
That's one thing. People are always watching. Like, and you know what's funny? You say that, Viv. I was having a conversation with my mom yesterday, right? She's asking me like, hey, how's your Sunday? I'm like, hey, you know, we just actually recorded a podcast with, you know, another entrepreneur. We're going up to 100. For some reason, she starts telling me, oh, and just keep going, like 100 more. He's like, I know, like right now, like you guys are building. It's been 1 year. But she's just like, honestly, son, someone is watching. Someone is, they don't like your content. They don't interact with it. They've never spoken to you. You deny it, but they keep coming back, watching over and over. It's like, trust me, things will start taking off for you guys in due time, but just keep doing what you believe in. And
always watch. Trust me. So I recorded a trailer for Amex, and you know, they came back and the feedback was, hey, we want the Vivian on Instagram. I was shook because I was like, wait, they were watching my Instagrams? And on my Instagram, I'm very, you know, out there. I'm very, you know, vibrant and all that. And I didn't get, you know, you always think, oh, well, I need to just sort of dim myself down in order to fit into these certain scenarios. But they were like, no, we want you. And so and I think that's because, you know, especially as Black people, we're taught that we just need to don't make noise, don't cause any kerfuffle, and just be quiet and keep your head down and do your work. But there's people always watching who want you as you are.
Yeah.
Bridge of incidences.
That's a word. That's a fact.
That's the theme.
Yo, honestly, if it was an individual podcast, that would be the name of the podcast.
Yes.
Bridge of incidences. That's a fact.
Bridge of
That's a fact.
incidences.
Awesome, man. So as we work towards wrapping up, you know, what are some of the key lessons that we can, you know, tell our audience to go forth and conquer with, in your opinion?
Decide what kind of life that you want, and then say no to everything that isn't it. So, and that applies to everything. So if you have a goal in mind of, I don't know, creating $1 million business, okay? So that means you need to be doing $1 million activities. right? You need to do money generating activities. So every single thing you do, you have to think, is this going to make me money? And it's not necessarily money, the currency. It could be saving time. It could be energy. The things that you can't get back. Money you can always make, right? But it's the energy and the time that you can't get back. But if you want to become $1 million business, you have to find ways to be more efficient. You have to find ways to make more money. You have to find more revenue generating activities. So every single thing you do, it may not be, again, it may not be the cash. It could be opportunity. It could be network. It could be this. There has to be some form of currency. So with every decision that you make, think, is this going to bring me one step closer to what I want to do or what I want to be or my $1 million goal? If it does, then do it. But how you make that decision is not necessarily with your brain. I would use your gut. Your gut's going to tell you, right? Because some of the biggest mistakes that I've made, I went against my gut, right? And even if you need to make a decision, if it's like, okay, do I want to make this investment in this equipment? Your body, like you know, yes or no. Like you automatically already know. You just need to trust the answer.
Yeah.
Don't ask 50 million people. Don't do ask advice from people who've never done the thing that you want to do. That's my second one if I have to do one. Don't ask advice of people who have never done what you want to do. If they haven't, how could they possibly help you if they've never done it? How could you let them advise you on doing something? Right? So those are my two things. I'm getting a little carried away here. But decide on the life that you want to live and say no to everything else that isn't it. And trust your damn self. You know what you want to do. Yeah. Trust yourself.
Yeah, you got to yield to that voice within you just to let it do its thing and just let the answer show up.
And if you fail, okay, did you die? No, you didn't. Get back up and try it again or do something else or pivot, but just do it because you don't want to be on your deathbed wishing you had done that thing that you should have done.
That's a fact.
Bars.
That's a fact. Man, what a way to end it. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the hustle is what you can control. What you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen Osinde.
Oh, and I'm Vivian.
And you. And that's Hustle Over Everything, y'all. Peace.
Peace out, everyone.
Word. Oh yeah, I didn't even ask, that's the. But did you get to do any more Black Men?
Podcast wise.
I have to say, it was like right there. Podcast wise.
Actually, I have done some more Black Men. Yes.
Awesome.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, that clip, everyone saw that, they were just dying of laughter.
Yeah. That's a fact.
That was a gem of a clip.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, that wraps up part 2 of our 100th episode. Make sure you check back for part 3 with Pollyanna Reed, Pierre Laguerre, and Suraj Gupta. All right, guys, see you soon. Thank you so much for listening. The conversation continues on our Instagram at 247hustler. We post very frequently. And be sure to check out our merch at hustleovereverything.co. We have some amazing sweaters, hats, mugs, and a lot more. Lastly, our Proud to Pay program is linked in the description below. Thank you so much for your support. Talk to you next Monday. Peace.